into the 49ers because it is draft week. And we got some time to sneak in some 49ers talk. It feels a little dry out here in the Bay Area because the Niners don't have a first or second round pick. However, the quarterback competition, Brandon Ayuk and a fifth-year option. What do they do with that? All right, so let's start with Trey Lance. John Lynch, I'm taking calls about Trey Lance.
I think there's a lot of smoke, really. It hasn't been extremely active, and it's not like we've put it out there that, hey, we're taking offers for Trey, call 1-800, that's not been the process. People's job in this is to ask questions. Has that happened on a couple occasions? Sure. It hasn't been that substantive, and, like I said, we're focused, as is Trey, on his ability to compete and play an integral role on this team. Last year, we needed 5, and so we value every single one of those guys, and we're excited about our group. We really are.
All right, here's John Lynch on keeping the open communication with Trey Lance.
Our policy, my policy, if we're actively trying to trade a player, not trying to, or if we're having discussions, for instance, last year with Mike McGlinchey, it became apparent that a year away from that, it was going to be tough to re-sign with Trent Williams in the building and the reality of our roster. I brought Mike McGlinchey up and said, hey, Mike, I never, from being a player myself, I never want you to hear from anyone else that you're being shopped. So I'm telling you, we are going to talk to some teams. If we're fielding inbound calls, I think I'd be doing that every single day if I'm telling every single player. I do think with the sensitivity of Trey's position, maybe a little different. So Trey and I have talked, and we're on the same page, and Trey knows exactly where the situation is. His mindset is all about competing, and I think that's exactly where his mindset should. We're excited about the position he's put himself in with the work he's done this offseason to, number one, get healthy. Number two, improve upon some things that he really wanted to improve upon. We don't get to watch all of his workouts. I've got a good view. He's definitely excited, and I think he has reason to be. Yes, there has been good communication, and we're excited about, Trey's ability to go compete for a job.
Well, hey, John, what about Trey being here for next season? Will he be here for next season?
I expect Trey to be here. We're excited about Trey's ability to compete and what he can do for our franchise, just as we were when we draft Trey. And I think the only thing that's changed this offseason is that Trey's gone and got himself healthy. He was injured last year, done a really good job of doing that. He's done some different things in terms of his training this offseason. He's very encouraged by that. And we'll see when we get an opportunity to get out there on the field with him. But we have every reason to be encouraged as well.
All right, so of course the Niners don't have a first-round pick because they traded up to number 3. Miami gets that first-round pick this year. They don't have the second-round pick this year because they added that to the package to go get Christian McCaffrey from Carolina. So John Lynch expects Trey to be here, had open communication with him, and he said there's a lot of smoke there going on with Trey Lance. So what do you take away? Before we get to Ayuk, but John Lynch discussing Trey Lance because there's a lot of smoke around him about whether or not he'll be traded.
I've been thinking about this long and hard because we haven't had any 49er quarterback deep conversations in quite some time. Today, now things can change. This is a moving target. There were times where it's Jimmy G's team. Today, it feels like it's Brock Purdy's team. It just feels like that right now. It does to me.
Giants showing them on a video board, everything, parading them around.
The other players, the way that everyone's talking about them, whether it's the different reporters, Ian Rappaport and whatnot, the things that you see that are being leaked over here. And then let's take a step back and think about where the organization's been the last couple of years. I think the uncertainty at quarterback has frustrated everyone. The players, the staff, the fans. I think it's divided.
George Kittle.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's divided everyone. So I think the last thing that the team wants to do right now is have this quote-unquote open quarterback competition and deal with these same things that they've been dealing with the last couple of years. But the Brock injury is the monkey wrench in the situation. And so I don't know where Brock's at. I think if Brock was healthy, I really do think that they would have been able to trade Trey Lance already.
Wow.
I do. And
wow.
You can think of that however you want.
No, yeah, what value would you have gotten for Trey Lance?
I was thinking about this. Like, the Sam Darnold, he was in year 4,
right.
Okay? And so you had to pick up his 5th-year option almost immediately. He got a 2nd and 3rd round pick to Carolina. And everyone ripped Carolina for doing that deal, and it ended up, not looking so great in hindsight. Trey Lance, if you look at his contract right now, okay, this year, if you're acquiring that guy, you're looking at about $10 million, let's say, give or take.
10 to 11.
Next year, he's under contract. Then you would have the 5th-year option. So you say, what's his value? I don't know. Is it a third rounder, a fourth?
We haven't even seen him play. We've seen 4 games.
I'm with you. But if you're giving out comp picks in the third round for coaches leaving and things like that, I think third round is a good starting spot. Could the Niners attach one of the third rounders and get a second rounder? They don't have any picks. Boy. You know, I don't know. But I do believe this. You say, like, does he have value? I think at 22, 3 years old, because he's about to turn 23, he does have a lot of value. And because you get this year, next year, to make a decision before you pick up that fifth-year option, which is May of 2024, I do think he has some value. I do. He's young enough.
I would not give up on Trey Lance. I don't know what. That's bad business, considering the compensation you moved up for and the lost picks and the lost draft capital and the lost years here. And now you're rolling with Sam Darnold as a backup.
They lost
Sam
that
Darnold,
trade Brock right
Purdy.
now.
Right now, they've lost a trade.
They've lost that trade.
You brought up Brock Purdy. Here's the progress and timeline for Purdy's recovery, according to John Lynch.
Just what we expected. He's attacking each day. I think he's focused on each day. Dr. Meister had said that an inflection point will be 12 weeks because that's when he's supposed to start throwing. But right now, he's just really focused on maxing each day. I think with rehab, having gone through it myself, there's a physical component to it. There's also a psychological and emotional and mental component. Part of that is just waking up, really being where you're at. And I think that's what Brock has done a really good job of. Get a lot of people reaching out saying that the fives at the Giants game were really encouraging. But I think what's more encouraging is what I'm hearing every day from our people from Brock. He's making great progress. As I have it, we're 6 weeks out, just finished that 6 weeks and really doing a good job with it.
I'm confused with Brock Purdy because
why is that?
A couple weekends ago, he said he doesn't even know if he's going to play at 2023. Now he's reaching on checkpoints and now he's on schedule or whatnot. I have no idea what's going on with him. Lynch, is he on schedule?
He's doing really well, and as I understand it, he's definitely on schedule, hitting all the checkpoint and doing very, very. We're very encouraged by his rehab.
So I don't know what to think. And are we ready to go all in on Brock Purdy as a franchise quarterback? Are we really ready? Like, does anybody have any reservations about Brock Purdy? Was it just a Jimmy G-like run in 2017? Where he balled out for 5 games? Was it a mirage? Are we really ready to make Brock Purdy the franchise quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers?
That's a loaded question. Because I'm looking at it because you're going to get to Ayuk in a second, and I think it's interconnected to the quarterback. The way I'm viewing it, and interrupt me at any point if you think that I'm wrong or you want to add nuance. They have such a talented roster. They want to suppress the quarterback money for right now to try to keep this team, whether it's 1 year or 2 years. It feels like we're in a tiny little window here where they're going to go all in. And I think they do need that dirt cheap quarterback, at least the salary. I'm talking about the salary. And so I get where they're coming from. But if from 2 years from now they don't cash in, it's going to be a failed experiment. Like, they have the best roster in the NFL outside of quarterback. I don't know who even comes close.
I mean, NFC, I go NFC. I still taking Kansas City. Okay. I still like Philadelphia's roster.
If I took Mahomes off that...
I still like their roster.
Okay.
They got a lot of young assets.
They do.
But, and then you do get into that situation, and it's like, well, you have Trey Lance, you have Brock Purdy. They're both cheap. I mean, it's $11 million in the quarterback room.
Yes.
$11 million in the quarterback room. I know.
It's crazy.
Brock Purdy. I don't know, man. All right, Brandon Ayuk, though. This is very intriguing.
Well, this is where I think it's interconnected to this quarterback thing.
I think there could be some things happening at the wide receiver position. Maybe not this offseason, but definitely next offseason. Here's what Lynch had to say about Brandon Ayuk's fifth-year option.
It's a fair question because I understand the line of thinking. Can't keep everyone. We're trying to do something special this year, and Brandon's going to be a big part of that and beyond it as well. And so, yes, you always have to think out a few years, but we're really excited about Brandon. Feel like he made another big step next year, and I think the best is yet to come. And so we want him being a part of it. And at some point, you have to figure things out. And I guess we'll take that as it comes. But as of right now and into the future, we're really excited about Brandon Ayuk and where he's at as a pro, the work he's done to develop as a pro and become one of our core players here.
So Brandon Ayuk tweeted out earlier this offseason, 1K as a fourth option, meaning that he had over 1,000 receiving yards as a fourth option.
It's true.
And going into the season, I thought Brandon Ayuk was the best wide receiver on a football team. Best route runner, best pure hands. And that's where Christian McCaffrey comes into play. You have Christian McCaffrey, you have George Kittle, you have Deebo Samuel, and now you have Brendan Ayuk. If I was to bet on the future at the wide receiver spot or as a playmaker, I'm betting on Ayuk. I'm betting on Brendan Ayuk over Deebo Samuel.
Well, because
I'm looking at the route running.
Yeah.
Look, I don't want the Niners to trade any of them. You need as many playmakers as you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, you look at Buffalo. You need playmakers. So I'm not trading anybody this offseason. But if I'm betting on a future to stay healthy and to be productive, I'm betting on Brendan Ayuk over Deebo Samuel.
Long term.
Yep.
But you don't have to make that decision today.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. I'm not doing that right now.
I think most
next
people
offseason.
I think most people.
I don't know about that.
Really?
A lot of people love Deebo Samuel as a playmaker. They see him make a lot more plays, the home run play, the highlight
What about
play.
Kittle? Because I do think Kittle factors in. I
need Kittle at tight end.
No, I know,
because
but
of the blocking.
But the way I'm looking at this, his body, I mean, he's been healthy this last year, but his body's also been dinged up. But I look at it, I don't think it's just Deebo or Ayuk. I think it's Deebo, Ayuk, Kittle, Trent. There's like 4 guys making a lot of money or about to make a lot of money on offense. And whether Trent retires, that I think changes the equation. Whether Kittle, can stay healthy, I think that changes the equation. I hear what you're saying in terms of Ayuk. I would bet on Ayuk over Deebo long term too. But I also think that wide receiver might be the easiest to replace of those 3 positions.
It hasn't
tight end, left tackle, and wide.
It hasn't been with the Niners. It just hasn't.
I'm just looking at what college is giving you.
College is giving you a lot, but you got to have the draft capital. It's all of it is a crapshoot, right? I would look to be drafting a tight end. And looking for Kittle's
and the left
replacement.
tackle, Bonte. Trent Williams is year to year right now. That's the way I'm viewing Trent Williams. He could retire at any moment.
Let's go to Mike in Daly City. Mike in Daly City, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, how you guys? Hey, I've been going on like little group chats with 49ers, and they keep on showing Ayuk might be traded. I would trade Deebo because ever since college, Deebo has been hurt every other year.
Yep.
It's just a proven fact.
Yeah, they can't trade him this moment, though, because of the dead cap.
You keep Ayuk. He's a better pure receiver.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I agree with you. The only thing is they can't. They can, but it's going to be really hard to trade Deebo this moment because of like the dead cap money. I believe it's like $25 million this year.
Yeah, I would keep Deebo.
They're kind of like all in for this year with Deebo.
Yeah, but I mean, going forward, I would extending Ayuk and trading Deebo because just the injury and this. Ayuk's just a better receiver.
Yeah, I can't let go of Ayuk. Ayuk is he's a special player. And then if you move off from him, then in essence, it's like, damn, you gave up on another first-round pick? Just like that?
McGlinchey, Kinlaw.
I mean, come on. You gotta keep these guys. You gotta keep some of these guys together.
Really, the only first-round pick that's still on the team
is Ayuk.
Well, and Bosa.
And Bosa.
Yeah.
Number 2 overall, of course.
Yeah. But it's kind of crazy. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's just, I do think that there's a financial Jenga that's being done right now, Tetris, whatever you want to call it. And I think that for this year, I would expect very little movement. Next offseason, Bonte, I think anything's on the table. And
especially if you don't win.
Agreed.
Especially if you don't win.
And the big domino for me is like, Trent, are you coming back or not? Because I do think that changes your financials dramatically.
Going through a full season, Brock Purdy's your starter. Is he getting you back to the NFC Championship game?
I loved what I saw from Brock, but Bonte, I think there's major question marks and fair criticisms. Like, what's the league going to do after they've got an entire offseason to adjust and look at him?
Yep.
How are they going to take away his inability to throw, outside the numbers and just take away the middle of the field? We saw that with Jimmy Garoppolo. Is he able to, have his arm physically recover? What about the fact that he's a little smaller in that pocket? Does that do anything to him?
Right.
Is he injury prone? Like, there are many Brock Purdy questions that we don't have answers to.
No, we don't. We really don't.
I love what I've seen thus far. He's proven more than Trey Lance, but similar to Trey Lance, the body of work is so little. I mean, we're talking about 8 games.
Wow.
But I do believe his brain, if we were going to go like right now, in terms of his synergy with Shanahan's play calling, it's been, I would say, better than even Jimmy G's best.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm with you, man.
Like his ability to go bop, 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 and kind of like go through the offense and read the progressions. At least it feels to me, my novice eye, it feels like he goes through it as fast as Shanahan would want someone to go through it. But again, I'm still holding out, the optimism that Trey can show something. I don't know what he can at practice.
Well, he's going to be competing with Sam Darnold. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
I mean, he's a wild card in this too.
You think the Niners do anything on draft day to get into the top 2 rounds? Are they big?
Well, that's why
they have 5 third-round picks.
If I was them, if you have already made the decision that you're going to move off of Trey Lance, I would package one of my third rounders or multiple of them with Trey Lance and try to move up. That's what I would. If you
go get a quarterback,
if you've made, see, I think they're going to take a quarterback no matter what. I'm in the Bill Walsh theory. Take a quarterback every year. That's me. That's just me.
Yeah.
Whether it's late, early, whatever. Like take a quarterback every year. That's me.
All right.